a real jackass.
You're a real Canadian.
Body slam. Immortal leg drop.
This was the second Thunder in Paradise movie.
Thunder in Paradise 2.
Mm-hmm. Which was actually a 2-part episode called Sealed with a Kismet? Something like that.
And it's fairly into the series at this point, so they developed relationships which are not the same as the last movie left off, so if you didn't know that this was also a TV series, you'd be wondering why the fuck everything's changed.
Yeah, well, and this is also, the pilot movie was shot as a movie, and this was clearly just 2 episodes of a TV show. Granted, it's a 2-parter, but it's still really obvious that you've missed some things. And it's not even like a good 2-parter to do as a standalone movie. It's just because they seemed to be doing that for all the 2-parters that they had.
Whoa, chill, mama.
But yeah, the hotel lady, she's gone. Presumed dead, we don't know.
Custody champion! How long is this gonna go for? 30 minutes later. I won the kid!
Don't worry, they're gonna edit in cheers so that we know that we like him later, so it's fine.
Yeah, Hogan! Terry Hulk Hogan!
Terry Hulk Hogan!
Terry Hulk Hogan! Terry Hulk Hogan!
So I think that's a relationship that's changed. The audience likes him this time.
Hey!
So it's just him with this new daughter that he has. And it just looks like Mitch Buchanan's house from Baywatch. Like, it looks like the same set.
Mitch Buchanan's temporary daughter.
Yeah. Well,
because it is!
Yeah. If you didn't know that this was by the creator of Baywatch, you definitely would buy this one, because this is the most Baywatch one.
The opening is just a Baywatch montage for 3 minutes.
That's that was pretty porny even for Baywatch, the music. Like, they were doing some pretty porny music for that.
It was really crap music is what it was.
They didn't have the sweet tunes Baywatch did.
They could have just used the Thunder in Paradise.
Yeah, no one would be sad if they used that theme again.
I don't know why they didn't. It was just like, and then you go to a dream or something.
I've had this dream at least a dozen times before. I'm walking in the desert.
There's something about dreams to tie into our bullshit dream crap in this episode. I mean, movie.
This episode is centered around...
Movie.
Shut up. This episode centered around...
Movie.
Kelly LaRue! Who was the one who had the New York accent but doesn't now?
For a fellow New Yorker. Just when it started getting interesting, whoosh, he went away.
And she's kind of the adoptive aunt for this little girl.
When Hogan and Brew fuck off, they just leave her in her custody.
At the bar.
It's good for her. She can serve a few drinks.
And so, at the beginning of this episode, they are hanging out with this island woman who is apparently a character now, too. She's just around to go like, I will say something big and wisdom-like.
I know where the dream place is in the forest.
The Dream Hollow?
The Dream Hollow.
Where they have these flower crowns that they wear.
That is your dream crown, apparently.
The Dream Crown.
And then they have dreams, and it was great they set this up, because then we get a 5-minute dream sequence. Just excessively long. And it's not like a surreal dream sequence. It's not like you go in and there's a bunch of symbolism and you're like, ooh, what's this mean? It's just they're presenting it as you don't know until the end that it's a dream, even though they already told us that it was going to be a dream.
It's a premonition dream, too, so, like, a lot of it replays later in the episode. The best part is they blow up.
Oh my God!
They just fucking kill them. Like, meanwhile, they're on a mission, and then, I don't know, Brew fucks up. I'm pretty sure Brew's the one who fucks up in this, because Hogan can't do it.
I don't know. Yeah,
No,
we'll blame it on Brew.
Well, because Brew said he wanted to do some manual thing or something, and he's like, no, trust me on this one. And that's what gets them killed.
But then that works later.
Yeah, but I don't know what they changed later, honestly.
I really don't, but he does the same thing and then it works.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't Hogan's fault, though. That's what we know for sure.
Yeah. Let's just establish that Hogan is never the one at fault. He's not going to get them murdered. We'll just blame it on Brutus.
Oh no! Brutus packed us this bomb! You idiot! No!
But once they murder him, then it's fine.
Yeah.
I can't believe this!
So there's this dream sequence the little girl has where they blow up, and she's scared about it, so she calls in her dad, and Brew is apparently living there or having a sleepover. I really don't understand. My two dads. I really don't understand. Like, they don't establish if he actually lives with them or if he's just.
She calls him Uncle Brew now.
Yeah. I guess, I don't know. He's sleeping at the foot of the bed in the end of that one scene, so maybe he's like their dog?
I think he just lives together, and they
He
get her to
sleeping.
call him Uncle just because, you know.
It's a different time.
Yeah.
They were less accepted back then. Well, they did profess their love for each other in the first one,
It's
so.
true.
Darling, I love you. And I love you.
And then there's another dream sequence where Kelly LaRue dreams that she is on a beach with a man with long, luxurious hair.
Not as good as Hogan's brother. Oh. And then Hogan comes in and lag drops him and said, I'm the Dream World Champion!
And it turns out that the same person having this dream is that the man with long, luxurious hair, who is the prince of Fakistan?
Fakistan or Tandy Asia.
It's 8 a.m. in northern Tanzania.
He's like, that's my dream woman, I gotta find her, as he sees her in a rose.
Yeah. It's amazingly stupid. You know what? I gotta find Hogan.
Gotta find Pastamania, brother!
Pastamania! The world just lost another Pastamaniac.
Yo.
So, he says she's in a castle on the beach. That's all he's got, and apparently
a
that
White
takes him
Castle by the beach.
a White Castle, and instead of going to a White Castle restaurant, he immediately finds her in
That
like
would have
5
been
minutes.
amazing.
Because they don't live that far away, it turns out. So.
No, it's just 2 hours in the hyperspeed boat. So maybe it's like 3 to 4 hours on normal boats.
It's about like a Subway sandwich away. Once they eat it, then they'll get there. So he shows up on the beach to whisk her away, and Brew's really jealous, I guess. They can't really decide if they're together anymore.
Another one of these things, you know, if you watched the other movie, they're kind of together by the end of it. By this one, they're apparently well broken up. But
Yeah, well, because his guards start, like, pointing a gun in his face and threatening him with a knife, and she's just sitting
they
there
beat
making
him
out
up.
the whole time.
Gun, knife to throat, and they're still kissing.
She really didn't give a shit.
No,
And then,
in fact, Brew.
yeah, and then he gets her to go to his country with her, and then, like, she's like, oh yeah, wait a second, I probably should say goodbye to them.
I like that she'll
Afterthought.
just do it, especially after he just pulled guns and knives to her friend's throat.
No second thoughts about this whatsoever.
I guess he seems fair enough.
Well, because they're like, oh, we had a shared dream,
And he goes, shared dreams are as common as the sunrise in my country.
My name is Prince Aramor, and in my country, a shared dream is as common as the sunrise.
I think we would have heard of this fucking country by now. Shared dreams happen in this country?
magical shared dreamland Fakistan.
Yeah, I think people would be very interested in that, because that's not something that happens normally. Wow, there's this country you go to and you have shared dreams? I'd like to see that.
And apparently before any of this happened, he knew that he would have to give her up because of the greatest villain ever.
Giant Gonzalez is back with his fun fur.
He like taped wool to his face or something. Like, brilliant disguise. We couldn't tell it was the same actor. I mean, he's got such a range. I don't know why they needed to put the wool on his face.
I think he did the fusion with a sheep before or something.
I mean, they might as well have just put him in a stupid bodysuit for how dignified it looked. Oh, they gave him significantly more dialogue, which is great because he's
any
really...
dialogue.
You will stand by and watch your entire kingdom crumble unless you find a way to show me the respect I deserve.
Any kind of dialogue is great because he's really good at dialogue.
I think that's why they made him foreign from Pakistan. It's like, well, he can talk slowly, and it's because he's foreign.
He's the only one with an accent. Everyone else speaks perfect English, except maybe a guard. The one guard guy kind of spoke broken English, but everyone else, like the prince, is just like, hey, I'm in my country.
He was a surfer dude, was he?
Yeah.
Well, cowabunga, dude. So we like totally had the same shared dream, yo. Let's get married. What? He should have just surfed over. Just came in on a wave. Whoa, it's me, your lover from the dream world.
He's surfed by Hogan and Randy Savage as they're having their jet ski race.
Hogan backstroking with Donald Trump on his back or whatever.
He's drowning everyone on his back while saving them from the boat. I also liked another Baywatch thing about this episode was the montage where they're singing about dreaming while like the prince and Kelly are in love. Don't wake me up if I'm dreaming.
Don't wake me if I'm dreaming.
Forever, yeah. Like, it reminded me of that one where Mitch sees a girl and imagines them in a field together.
Yeah.
They probably like, hey, let's just redo that montage.
When they were running out of ideas. Well, Thunder in Paradise started out with no ideas.
Your heart set on this?
My heart. Yeah, good choice of words.
I'm the Baywatch champion, brother.
I was the best on Baywatch. I made that show.
So, Giant Gonzalez, with the beard, he is the warlord of this country, and he's got, like, I don't know, cannons or something that could destroy them, so to prove their allegiance to him, they gotta give their greatest treasure to him, and it turns out his dream woman is his greatest treasure, so he just like, hey, you're gonna marry him. Why didn't he just make up, like, just that he didn't know about her and then, like, give something else to him? I don't know why he even bothered. It seemed like he sort of cared about her.
Giving him,
outside of
like,
being
his
an
favorite
asshole there.
dinky or something.
Yeah. I mean, who's to say what's his greatest treasure? He just makes something up. I mean, the warlord doesn't seem that smart anyway.
Come on. He's a rocket scientist.
His beard's so big because his brain can't be contained in his head.
He contains his brains in his fuzzy beard.
Oh, that's why he sounded so smart. To be or not to be. Fire!
That's his best line of the episode.
Fire! They use it 1,000,000 times. Fire!
Fire! Fire! I'm just gonna be using my sword as a king!
Yeah,
Fire!
he's just leaning on his sword because he can't stand. I feel bad for the guy, but it's so obvious he can't do fights
It's the same thing in the other one too, when it's like, go get him! And then he's kind of gingerly walking out after him. And when he's trying to rush back to the limo, like, it's sad.
He's gotta go run off to carve some pelicans.
Why does he keep doing that?
Because he's got them big dog blues.
Help me, I'm in trouble! Help me! Oh!
I think Triple H watched the first Thunder in Paradise movie, though, with the sledgehammer. He's like, that'd be a really impractical wrestling weapon. I should do that. And that's where he got his idea for the sledgehammer. Thunder in Paradise.
It's his favorite show. Hulk Hogan and Bru gotta go stop this wedding. So they go into hyperspeed, which takes about 2.5 hours, but they still complain how long it takes to get there.
This is going to be a really long trip, like 2 hours.
But first they gotta get through their ocean of mines that is guarding them.
Wait, first they have a talk about food, which is a movie exclusive scene.
Yeah, I'm sad that it was cut out of the episode, but at least if you watch the movie, you get to see them talk about food and first loves.
And Bru, like, constantly weighs around a chicken leg. Mm-hmm. And if you didn't have the scene where they talked about the food, he just randomly had a chicken leg he was waving around.
Linda Claridge. Body of a goddess.
They have to get rid of these mines, but these are the most impractical sea mines ever.
They're hidden underneath manhole covers in the ocean, and I don't know what they get activated by particularly.
Just their motion sensors, I guess? Like, it has to be
all the
something
fish would...
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense.
Hogan sets them off himself somehow. We don't really know how he's setting them off. He just goes out with a metal detector, and then they shoot up, and Thunder has a laser beam it can shoot out from a bump in the front of the ship. Like, it's just part of the hood on the front, but it's just like, a laser shoots from there because we just thought of it this episode. So,
yeah, there's no thoughts about what kind of gadgets or abilities Thunder has unless they need them, so there's no real, like, functional things that you see on it to be like, oh, that's the laser, that's this thingy. It's just like, it'll come out of a random part of the boat, and like, oh, lasers, that's what they have now. They get there, and they gotta sneak in, and they wear their, they got their camo pants on and everything, and they proceed to hide behind the smallest pillar they could find.
There's some boxes in front of it, too. It's like,
no one's gonna see these giant dudes in camo hiding.
No one sees me, right?
And of course, they get immediately caught in a tiny net. So they get captured, and they're in this jail cell, which is apparently electrified with nothing?
With magic, because they kick this door down, and you see it's not attached to anything that would electrify it. It's just a cell door.
I mean, and then the guy's like, haha, but you didn't think we have electricity. Like, no one did, because it doesn't look like that connects to anything.
Yeah. I don't think anyone questioned whether the whole country had electricity either.
Yeah. They came in like a car, and they probably took like a boat or a plane or something to get there. Like, I don't know, they probably have some sort of electricity to make it in the modern world.
It is customary in your country to invite one up for coffee. No disrespect to this beautiful land, but Northern Tanzania coffee has the sweet taste of moonlight.
The guard is tricked because they're like, oh, let's check the food for this disease. You don't want to get this disease.
He's just eating, and they say, hey, haven't you heard of Fakistan disease that goes in food right now?
Like, oh no, you better check it. And they do.
I'll leave my food with these 2 prisoners. I trust them.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, well, they didn't check what they have in their pockets because, like, they had food that Island Woman gave to them, and they put some hot sauce on it. Because luckily she said, like, oh, this hot sauce will get you out of many troubles, for no reason other than this fits into this scene, but she would have no idea of knowing that would happen.
Pass me hot sauce. It'll save you many a trouble.
Maybe the little girl's not the only one who had spoiler dreams.
But she's just more vague about it.
Yeah. I won't tell you why you need hot sauce, but trust me, you need hot sauce.
But they could have just poisoned that guy. They didn't check what they had on him. They could have just put poison in it. Because they just say, like, you're in my light, so he leaves them alone with his food for a while.
They honestly didn't even need to put hot sauce in this guy's food anyway, because he chokes on the hot sauce, like, oh, and then he kind of stumbles off, and then they just give each other a look and kick the door down.
Yeah, they kick the door down, smash one guy, and then, like, if they could have done that the whole time, they could have taken that guy. He was pretty hefty. Like, he didn't look like he could do much.
They just need to kick the door down and then punch that guy as he's eating.
They go to the wedding of Willie Gonzalez, which is the world's slowest wedding.
It was kind of funny when Long Hair McGee's father is doing the wedding, and he goes, "Oh, now to silently read from our book of Fakistan."
And the whole time they're talking about, like, how dreams can't be changed. Except they gave the dream woman to the warlord, so they already changed it anyway. I don't know what they're even talking about.
That was his real dream.
Oh, okay. The dream that she was with Willie Gonzalez. And so Hogan and Brew come and they take them out. They take out the warlord.
They forgot Hogan is already the wedding world champion.
This is more like a machine gun wedding, bro.
I wonder what that son of a Bialy is doing to her.
Doesn't look much like kismet to me. More like a machine gun wedding. Let's boogie.
And so once he defeats him, he just says, like, surrender or die. And he's like, oh, I surrender. They're like, well...
After he puts him in a sleeper.
Of psychological warfare.
The most deadly move ever.
This is the one that gets audiences going.
Yeah. Everyone's really hyped up when Hogan put him in the sleeper.
That's a real crowd pleaser, the sleeper holds.
How you feel about the sleeper? Sleeper? Oh yeah, real crowd pleaser.
Since he surrendered, the rules are that he doesn't have power anymore when he says that. So everyone, here's a new warlord.
Yeah, Hogan wins the Warlord World Championship.
Like, I don't know why they need an appointed warlord.
They appoint Hogan their new warlord.
Meet our new warlord.
That's really what happens.
Like, you'd think, like, it seems like he was just holding them hostage with his cannons and stuff. But apparently he was just an appointed warlord, which doesn't make any kind of sense.
As part of their government structure, apparently, they need, like, a king and a warlord. I don't know how this works, but Hogan, like, goes, wait, no, and then they hold him at gunpoint to force him to be their warlord.
Oh boy.
Like, what the fuck is this place? Oh, now that Hogan's their warlord, he goes, well, how about you free Kelly? And they're like, no, because my son had this dream and dreams can't be changed. And it's like, wait, you promised her to Giant Gonzalez earlier, who was the warlord. Wasn't that changing the fucking dream and fate and all that bullshit?
The difference is we're not scared of you.
Because you're appointed.
How does he not have any of the cannons and weapons that he still had before as the warlord? I don't know how any of these rules
if
make
he's
sense.
the new warlord, I assume he gets all this stuff.
But why would he? Giant Gonzalez didn't, like, all he did was lose one
it's all
fight.
controlled through the king, who appointed him warlord and gave him the power to intimidate him because he's a fucking moron, I guess.
What is it?
Big bat lips.
Hey, why don't you let Kelly go? They're like, no can do. And then they're like, how about this? I'll give you my daughter in marriage. And then
Hogan smells her to make sure.
Yeah, they're like, oh, maybe we acted rationally. Vassals here. And then they're like, hey, Brew, you could be in charge of the women in waiting, and then you could, you'd get to bathe them and hang out with them. They do anything that you told them to. And you get a comedy montage of him in a turban. As he thinks about all the ways these women can please him.
But before it even gets to that, it sits on the stupid face of him looking at the camera. Like forever.
And it cuts back to him still making that face. So apparently he was just paused for like 2 minutes just staring like that. No one said anything to him. But what makes them change their minds?
Nothing.
Alright, so why
Hogan proposes that they have pastamania at the dinner, and which is what makes them decide. Yeah, he cuts Hogan's boobs off because he said, "Let's go to pastamania," and then you're the worst warlord ever.
Time for us to split.
Great fiesta, but now I think it's time to split.
But then they start shooting Hogan, but he's just no selling.
Can't get away with bullets, brother. They proceed to have the longest chase scene in the world. You get a repeat of the beginning.
Same thing, them going on top of roofs and be like, what do we do?
They try to fly on a magic carpet because the little
Because it
girl
was in the dream.
said that they flew on a magic carpet. All that happens is that they fall, which is kind of a funny joke. It almost works. In concept, I like it, but in execution, it's kind of like, that was lame.
Yeah, it's too long of a setup is the problem, I think.
Yeah, if they'd been like, just trust me on this.
Yeah,
that might be
would
kind of
have been
funny.
better.
It's the last time I listened to you.
Well, the idea seems structurally sound.
I like that she was his dream woman, his greatest treasure. And then he points out that dreams are as common as the sunset. So that means jack shit.
And that's why she punches him.
She's like, oh, yeah, sorry. Dream's over or something. I don't know what she says.
She goes,
Probably
the
something
date's over.
like,
And then he gets crushed by a cage.
Willie Gonzalez is like, hey, wait a minute. Did you make them beg before you killed them?
Oh, I didn't know that was part of the thing. Oh, there could be the fire! Fire!
Willie Gonzalez kills Rain. It was really sad. But he came back. He came back in Defenders of the Realm, so it's fine.
Yeah. Well, they're fighting their way back to Thunder. We get some of that wonderful, we need to fill in space with dubbed dialogue, so they add in Kelly going like, yeah, get him, Spence! Like, oh, thanks, brother, I wasn't gonna get him until you said that.
Get him, Spence!
Why the fuck would she say that?
And apparently, because he was a terrible warlord, they appointed Willie Gonzalez back to be their warlord again.
Suddenly he's back in command of an army.
There's no explanation. There's not even a shot of him running up going like, now's my chance. It's just he's there now. Going, fire! Fire!
Hogan, you're fired as warlord. We're re-electing Giant Gonzalez.
We liked him so much.
He was a better warlord than you because he, I don't know, actually intimidated us and you came to dinner, which was your number one mistake.
You didn't like the Postomania, brother? After they get away, they don't blow up.
Yeah, they don't blow up.
And they get another couple hours, get back home.
Yeah, another hyper speed back home, and then Hogan jumps into Brutus's arms.
They make out and Bruce jealous. Dun, dun, dun.
I can't believe this.
Oh, looks like your dreams were stupid, kid. And Hogan body slams and like drops her. Like, that'll put her out for a few months.
Wrap up at the bar.
Now let's get this kid some shots.
Holy shit.
Uncle comes back. Is it too late for me to take custody?
Do you still own the hotel, or...
Do I own the hotel?
Who the hell knows?
Is her mom dead, or did she just fuck off and go, I don't want a kid, and I don't want to run this place with Hogan?
The dream crown. I told you, strong medicine.
Anyway, what was the end of this Thunder in Paradise? They just wrap up at the bar?
Yeah, after coming home and back to the Buchanan household where they're playing a game.
They're playing a rodeo game or something. And Island Woman's like, did the hot sauce help? No! Call me now, Miss Cleo! So, I don't know, I'd say this is my favorite one.
It's pretty good.
Because, like, this was
if you
the
want like
silliest one.
it's pretty silly. If you want one that flows better as a movie, it's definitely the first one though. But
Structurally, the first one is a real movie.
Exactly.
Neither of the
It
other
doesn't
ones.
leave you wondering what's going on through half of it. This does not tie in from the first movie in the slightest. You're completely lost at this point.
But if you want to laugh at, like, Hulk Hogan doing some dumb stuff, there's plenty of things in it to laugh at, so...
Yeah, and like all you have to get past is just a few of the characters' relationships have changed.
But who cares?
Yeah, it's all about Hogan anyway, so fuck them, brawler.
Postumania, brother.
Running wild. Boo!
Great fiesta, but now I think it's time to split!